Hello my friends, yes, this is Matilda and welcome to Tilda's Cookbook. Today I'm going to share with you my family's most favorite recipe of spinach pie. It's my mother's excellency, let's say. Nobody makes it better than her, but we try. Today I've made a couple of additions here myself, but in general it's made with everyday ingredients, simple and really delicious. I make it today after a request from my cousin Sofia. So here we go, with no more delay, let's get started.
For this delicious spinach pie, I'm going to be using the remaining of my Kourou pastry that I used the other day to make the cheese pies. You can find the recipe there. 1 kilo of fresh spinach that I'm going to clean off the stems and wash thoroughly. You can use frozen one if you cannot find fresh. I'm going to be using a couple of special herbs here, and in Greek we call kafkalitres. The English name, I believe it's Mediterranean heartworm. Just about a handful of French parsley, we call mironia in Greek. Half a bunch of dill, 1 leek, 2 fresh onions, and a little dry onion as well, or you can substitute with just dry if you cannot find the fresh ones. 1 clove of garlic, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and 200 grams of feta cheese, or just about. And just a tip here, the remaining of my herbs, like my dill and of course my kafkalitres, I save them. I take out the stems and put them in food bags and save them in the freezer for a later time. I have cleaned all my spinach and I'm washing it thoroughly. I took all the roots out. I have this wonderful greens in my garden that grew out of a heavy rain that we had the other day. So I decided to cut them and put them also in my pie. Otherwise, other times that means I just boil them and have them as a side dish. They are delicious with olive oil and lemon. Really yummy. I have chopped my onions and garlic, and now I'm going to chop the fresh onions, the scallions, and the leek. And as soon as I'm done with my onions and scallions, I'm going to roughly chop my herbs. To the chervil or French parsley, just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. Actually, if you have a little more, you can add like an extra quantity. This has like a sort of sweet taste and very aromatic, and it gives a delicious taste in the food. So if you find it around, you can just give it a try. I have put my heat on high, and I'm gonna pour in about 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and I had forgotten to put that in the ingredients, but you need to know you need some olive oil in order to cook the spinach. And I'm gonna pour in the onions first, the dry onion, to saute it a little bit. And then I will add the green onions and the leek and saute everything together for a few minutes until they get clear. I will then add the garlic and also saute that together with the rest, and I'm ready to put in my spinach. I'll put it in portions so that it will shrink a little bit, and I'll also lower my heat to in between medium and high. one batch is shrinking down, I'm gonna be adding the rest until I finish with all my greens. I'm gonna put in the salt and pepper. Give them a nice mix. Stir them all together. While my greens and spinach are cooking, I'm gonna beat the 2 eggs to have them ready for later on. I'm gonna add them on my spinach after it's cooled down a little bit. And also I'm gonna smash my feta with the use of a fork. I do it this way, and I cut it into small pieces to have it also ready. After about 15 minutes of cooking, most of the water has evaporated, so I'm gonna turn my heat off, pull it aside and let it cool down. I'm gonna be using a 30 centimeter tray to which I'm gonna spread some olive oil before I put my fύλλο in to make sure it won't stick while cooking. While my spinach filling is cooling down, I'm gonna open up my fύλλο. I sprinkle some flour over onto my board and I put it on my dough. 2/3 of it are going to go on the bottom part and 1/3 is going to go on the top part of the pie. So this is the way I separate them. I leave this aside and I'll start working with this one. Our fύλλο is opened up, take it up, tray here, and open it on the bottom of my tray. Now that my spinach has cooled down, I'm gonna put in all my herbs. And give it a nice mix. Ah, the smell of it, incredible, beautiful color. And now I'm gonna pour in the egg, actually the eggs, 2 of them, and the feta cheese. Mix so that everything is incorporated. So I'm going to spread my filling in the pie. As soon as the second fύλλο is opened up like this, put the pie here and put it on top and cover it. Spread it with a tiny bit of olive oil before I put it in the oven, because this is going to make my crust really crunchy, and we like it crunchy. And with a little remaining of my dough and some of the filling that had remained, we made a little calzone, spinach calzone, or sort of. After it cooked for 10 minutes, we take it out of the oven to give it a cut. This way it's going to be easier afterwards. And as soon as our crust has cooked just a little bit, it makes it so much easier to cut it. Minutes later, the pie is ready, and my calzone as well, and I let them cool down completely before we cut it to taste it. So here it is, my friends. I hope you can see it well. I put it right in the light. It looks really yummy. Actually, this is a really big piece, but I'll have half of it. So let's try it. Look at this. Delicious. Oh my god, it's so tasty. It's really, really yummy. Aromatic with all the herbs inside. Absolutely incredible. My friends, give it a try. I'm sure you're gonna love it. Consider to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you like this video, look at this crust, it's beautiful. Share it with your friends. Hit the bell button so that you will get notified on my new uploads. And I hope to see you next time. Until then, happy baking, my friends. Bye bye, everyone.